Hello, everyone out there in podcast world. I hope you're having a wonderful day. You are listening to or watching the Service Business Mastery podcast. I'm one of your hosts, Tersh, Blissett, sitting virtually next to my co-host, Joshua Crouch. Today's episode, we're going to talk about customer service, mastering customer service with Stephanie Fritz with Callzilla. But we're also going to talk a little bit about what Callzilla is. And it's a really cool concept that we get asked all the time. Josh and I get asked a lot. We were actually talking about this right before Stephanie came on earlier before the show started, and that's just talking to
I don't think we should share. I don't think we should share what we were talking about before.
Lucky for everybody else, I was recording it all. No, I'm just kidding. It's just, as a business owner, it's very easy for us to pick up the phone and try and we especially if you've been there and you're a business owner who has once answered the phones and has been in that situation, just like if you were a service technician and you want to jump out in the field to help them out when they get busy. But having someone else there that is qualified and can actually handle the calls coming in and do it professionally as if they are on your team, I think that's a major plus, in my opinion.
Yeah, and I think what's interesting, and you guys will get to learn more about this, but with Callzilla, it's not an answering service. I think a lot of times with the trades, we're used to answering services, right? That's like an overflow during the day and then in after hours, and that's not what this is. So I won't spoil it. I'll let Stephanie do that, but this is a different solution. If you haven't, because we've all seen those Facebook group threads where people are like constantly. Some answering services are great for like a little while, then they get busy, then they're not great. And it's literally a cycle that seems to continue. So it's a little different solution. And I think you guys will find this very interesting.
So before we get started with the episode, really quick, I want to give a shout out to everybody that makes this podcast possible. I'd like to start out with Company Cam. We use Company Cam with Service Emperor, one of my businesses, and it's really cool. I've been playing with it a little bit more here recently because I've been walking jobs, and we have a large commercial job that's going on. And
you still work?
Shush, Josh. I'm talking.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
Yeah, way to mess up that train of thought. The commercial job that we're walking, we have a lot of before and after pictures. I think the HVAC portion of that job, I think we changed out 18 units or something like that, 17, 18 units. And it's really cool to see the before and afters on all of those systems being replaced. Same with the plumbing, where there wasn't a bathroom at all. Now all of a sudden we have plumbing and a full bathroom going in there. So Company Cam has really been great to use as a client. If you do want to use them, you can use our discount code and you get like 14 days for free and 25% off the cost for 2 months or something to that effect. But we'll leave that link in the show notes. Josh, you want to go next?
Yeah, so next is Sarah, which actually Tersh is onboarding as we speak right now. So by the time this episode is released, he will be onboarded. So he'll be able to answer all of your Sarah questions. And so make sure you bring those to him. I'll drop his cell phone number somewhere in the notes.
Yeah.
And he only likes to be contacted between 11 p.m. and 1 a.m. is what I've been told. So,
gosh, I'm going to murder you.
I'm in a mood today, man.
You are.
Sarah's great. We've talked about Sarah a lot. Billy's a wealth of knowledge, and honestly, he's brought so much back to our industry since he's kind of come back in with Billy Go and Sarah. Check those guys out. At least do a demo with them and see what they're about, because they're worth at least understanding. We've had some clients of ours that have had some significant savings with their CRM product and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, massive. Emerson's a great product. It's in all the HVAC systems that we use and sell and repair. But they are doing something where they're bringing more training to the trades and not just to like help out a particular contractor, but also help out the tech schools. So they're willing to train the trainers for the tech schools and stuff like that. So I thought that was a really cool concept. We spoke with them at AHR Expo, and it was really good conversation. And you should listen to that episode if you haven't already.
Absolutely. I was just going to say, if you haven't listened to that episode, go back and listen to that one, because getting something started in your local community, I think is huge. And the more we can get the word out about the trades and bringing people to the trades, the better off we're going to be.
Yeah, absolutely. Josh, you want to talk about Upfrog?
Yeah, Justin's a friend. He's always trying to solve problems in a unique way, ways that maybe our industry has not seen yet. He was one of the kind of the forefront leaders as far as bringing like online pricing to advertising. And online pricing is still a hot topic sometimes when it's kind of like I'm red or blue. Like it's you're either one or the other, where you hate it or you love it. He's brought some other unique things to the table, and he's helped Tersh book a lot of tune-ups and stuff like that this spring, and shown a way where it's pretty hands off as far as what the owner needs to do, and you can book your calendar up and then do a lot with rehash, reactivation, things like that. So he's got some really, really great stuff that continues to come out. I know that dude's literally always working. Like every time I mess him, he's working. He's always working on the next solution. So
cool. Good job, Josh. Pat on the back.
Awesome. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Are you looking for valuable business advice to reach that 7-figure revenue mark? Do you want actionable tips to properly navigate through every business challenge you encounter along the way? Let Tersh Blissett and Josh Crouch be your guide in getting you to the top here at Service Business Mastery. Tune in as they sit down with world-renowned authors in business, leadership, and personal growth who share valuable insights about management, marketing, pricing, human resources, and so much more. Let their nuggets of wisdom gold guide you in owning a thriving, profitable, and ever-growing business. Here are your hosts, Tersh and Josh.
Hey, Stephanie.
Hey, guys.
How are you?
Welcome.
Good. How are you guys?
Good. Before we get started, I want to say really fast, Josh, we need a new intro video. We both lost like 40 pounds.
I know. I literally when I saw the first couple slides, I'm like, man, that looks like double what I look like now. So we do need to take a new video. We need to hang out again. It's been a while.
I don't know. You're stretching it now. I don't know that. Stephanie,
Awesome,
welcome.
Stephanie.
Tell us about yourself, and if I can get Josh to shush for a second. Yeah, good job, mute. Stephanie, welcome to the show, and I appreciate you hanging out with us and dealing with our antics for the day. I'm super excited to hear everything that you have to say about Callzilla.
Of course. Yeah. Thanks for having me today, guys. So I'm Stephanie. I work for Callzilla. Callzilla is a contact center customer service outsourcing partner to our clients. So you guys mentioned earlier answering service. That's not us. That's not our model. It's more so our clients, come to us for us to handle all of their customer service from beginning to end. So that's total call resolution, total email resolution, but also, built in, you get your agents that are handling the calls, the contacts, but you have a full customer experience support team behind you, from leadership to quality management team, trainers that are really there to manage the account, but also give you guys process improvement ideas, detailed reporting dashboards. So it really helps you to dive into, customer service, but also into your business and how can we help you grow your business, come up with new ideas, things like that.
So let me ask this, a couple questions. I asked a few beforehand, and I'll wait on some of those, but I'd like to know, say someone's listening to this and they have a CSR that they're happy with, but maybe they're thinking about expanding. Do you ever do something like that, almost like a hybrid type thing, or does it need to be like everybody needs to go all into Callzilla, or like it doesn't work at all?
Yeah, that's a really good question. So absolutely. So a lot of our clients follow what you called like a hybrid model. So they'll have their own in-house customer service team, and then they'll outsource a portion to a company like ours. It can be set up various ways. You could have more of a escalations team in-house dealing with more difficult calls, or they could be set up that they're doing some back office work for you, but they're there ready to support if our agents have a question or need support or need to escalate something. And then other companies just kind of split it. They'll have their own team. They'll supplement with our team. Could be split based on hours of operation. Maybe your agents handle daytime, but you need someone to handle evenings and weekends. So there's a lot of ways you can set it up, but absolutely, it's a model that's used a lot.
So you mentioned that you're not a call center. What differentiates what you do from a call center?
Yep. So call center or answering service is typically, they answering service specifically will answer the call. And you guys correct me if I'm wrong, but they'll answer the call, maybe take some notes, some details, and then get that information over to you guys.
Mm-hmm.
Our mission and our goal is to not have to come to you guys, to be able to, as long as you or the client provides us with all the training and the tools necessary, that we can have our agents are, they're taking the call, they're giving great customer service, they're an extension of your brand. So yeah, they're not sitting in your office, but they are an employee of yours that's then able to detail all the notes in your system, offer solutions, ask the right questions, and resolve the issue, whether that's booking the appointment, answering a question, apologizing if it's a complaint, and, getting to a resolution there. And then closing the loop, closing the gap, whether that's then, reaching out to the driver or putting notes in that get dispatched. So we handle it from beginning to end, total contact resolution.
So you're essentially, you would be bringing this would be like an employee kind of, obviously they would source through you and you guys would do the training and documentation and some SOPs and stuff like that. But this would essentially be like a one-to-one type of relationship versus like sometimes with an answering service, you get like a team of people.
Yeah.
And you don't really know who the agent's going to be. It kind of rotates based on who's on the phone. Is that a fair way of describing this?
Absolutely. Yep. And so our model is dedicated agents. So say, you guys, your company said, I need 5, we would look at your volume together. So we'd look at your historical volume of how many contacts you get on average. We'd come up with a game plan and say, okay, it looks like we need 5 agents. I don't know, 3 agents, 10 agents, whatever it is. Those agents would be dedicated to your brand. So you would, during the hiring and recruiting process, we're doing the hiring and recruiting. We allow and encourage our clients to be as involved as they want to be. So you guys could review resumes. You could see videos of the candidates. They do a 1-minute video. You guys could review them. So you kind of have it in the selection of the agents. And then, or you can say, that's what we're paying you for. We don't want to be involved. That's fine too. We do our job to, we hire the best agents possible. And then they're yours, unless somebody leaves for some reason, and then we would rehire to backfill that role. But those 5 agents would be dedicated to your account. They wouldn't work on any other account. So they would become, immersed in your brand, learn over time. And, we have clients that invite our agents to their town halls or their quarterly meetings so that they're involved and, understand the brand.
What happens if you're the person that you have on your team? I don't know, like because you're listening to call recordings. So, and you're like, there's a culture issue with the team that they are attached to. How do you address that with the business owner, or does that even they just deal with it or whatever?
Yeah. So a couple things on that. So yes, we listen to calls. We also, and Josh and I briefly chatted about this before, but we use technology to analyze 100% of the calls. So we use an AI tool called speech analytics, but basically it's flagging for us any calls that maybe aren't going so well, or they're not following not scripts, but, the guidelines that you guys have shared or that the client has shared. So we're able to really evaluate the quality of every single call. Then our team takes that to do the coaching, the skills training and all that with the agents. And yeah, if we identify that an agent is not a good fit, we would identify it and bring that to the client and suggest that maybe we shift them to a different program. If it's really bad, they likely wouldn't be with Callzilla either. But
what if it's not the your person that's the issue, but it's your client, like it's our team that's the issue?
Like someone who's calling in?
No. So like Service Emperor, my company, and we have terrible culture, and we're just treating your employee badly, or we are
okay.
we don't have good processes in place. That's probably more realistically what it is. We're not going to intentionally, treat anyone badly, but we have poor processes in place, and it creates either a bottleneck on your end, or you can foresee clients being unhappy or something like that. What's your recommendation there?
Yeah. So each account's assigned a client success leader from our team, and that's the daily point of contact person. But you're also having weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual meetings. And in those meetings, the role of that person is to, yes, share the reporting, the KPIs, how well are we performing, but also to provide process improvement ideas. So if we're seeing that, we see some issues, or we have ideas on how you guys could maybe improve a process that would help us and help you, we're going to bring those ideas to the client. We're going to, in the right way, without pointing fingers or trying to.
Hey, your company sucks.
Yeah, but no, that's part of our job too. And, then it's up to our client if they want to take our advice and, make some changes so that they benefit both sides. But yeah, we're definitely going to bring those ideas. And if it was really bad, I mean, you'd have someone like me who stays involved on the accounts probably calling you, Tersh, and saying, like, this is a little uncomfortable, but we have some problems we need to work out. So yeah, we want everybody to be happy and have a good working relationship.
As a business owner, it's all the problems fall back on you. Like you look in the mirror, if you have a fall, the ball gets dropped somewhere along the way in the process. Ultimately it's your responsibility. And the worst thing in the world for a business owner is for me to not have my hands in something. I'm a very much delegate and then check on it every once in a while person, and probably to a fault, even abdicate it sometimes more so than I should. And the worst thing in the world is for me to come back 6 months later and say, this process is terrible. Why have we been doing this for 6 months like this? Well, that's the way you told me to do it. Why has nobody recommended changing it? Because this is terrible. So I need and enjoy hearing that. Not really enjoy it, but I mean, I want to hear it so that we can get it fixed. And so it's a tough conversation, but it's one that is valued conversation to have for sure as a business owner.
Yeah, I totally agree. And most of our clients feel that way too. We come to them with ideas. You guys are busy. You're dealing with every department in your company, every, accounting, payroll, HR, all of that. We're only focused on customer service or your customer experience. So we're able to really dive in and find small things that, you and your team may not be able to even notice because you can't pay attention to every detail of each area.
Yeah.
So a question for you, Stephanie. So clients that sign up with Callzilla, I think we're at a point where there are some people on one side of the equation where it's like, I don't want to get rid of my team members, but I want to reassign them to do something else because maybe answering the phone is a little bit, maybe they have higher level skills, but they're spending all their time answering the phone.
Good job, Josh. I've seen how you navigated that one. We all seen that.
I thought through what I was going to say before I said it. That was a first.
Right.
And there's also obviously talk about technology and stuff like that, where there's people that are like, yeah, replace people as much as possible. With clients that have outsourced the customer service side to you guys, what have you found that they've done with their internal team? How has that helped them from a perspective of like maybe shifting resources, things like that?
Yeah, it's a good question. I think it depends on each company. Everybody kind of has an idea when they come into it, what they're going to do with that team. I can tell you personal experience. So prior to joining Callzilla, I worked for Pandora Jewelry. And we ended up outsourcing about 90% of our volume. And we didn't want to have to let go our internal employees. So as people left, we did not backfill, and as we saw somebody's strengths, we shifted them to other departments, encouraged them to apply for different roles so that we could keep the good people, but get them in a better role that maybe was a better fit for them. So I think that's probably what most people do is shift resources around, stop hiring. If someone leaves, you don't backfill, you slowly let the attrition take place and let people kind of leave. And, I've seen companies too, where maybe they have a few bad eggs that they do end up letting go so that they can only keep their great team members and then outsource, the other volume.
Do you guys, so with, do you have clients that have literally like gone away from having a customer service department at all and pretty much have you guys run everything?
Yes. Yep. It's not abnormal. A lot of companies outsource all of it, and then internally they'll have like a, whether it's a customer service manager or director, that their primary role then shifts into not managing an internal team, but really managing their vendors or managing the vendor relationship. So there's still, work for the managers to do or supervisors, but yeah, they shift all of that.
What happens as far as cost goes? We're talking about not rehiring for that position. Is it because there's a lot? It sounds to me like they're doing more than just a CSR would do. Because traditionally in our business, in our company, the CSR books the call. Call comes in, they book the call. Call comes in, they book the call, and then the dispatcher will move the board around typically. So you're looking at $15-$20 an hour, something like that, for a CSR. Replacing them, is that financially going to be the same, going to be more? How does that work?
Yeah. So with a company like ours, so our operation, so we're headquartered in Florida, but our agents or our CSRs, our teams are nearshore and offshore. So nearshore in Colombia, Bogota, Colombia, offshore in South Africa. So your cost savings immediately, you're going to pay less for the location alone, but you're not sacrificing quality because we've done our research to make sure we're in the right areas where we can recruit the best talent. And if you outsource to the US, I mean, you're going to pay probably double what you just said you're paying internally. Yeah. So there's definitely cost savings. Absolutely. If you outsource nearshore or offshore.
Well, I feel like so I've worked with answering services, Tersh has in the past, and we get US based people, but the problem is in order for them to make money, like every business, they have to make money too. They are hiring people at $12 an hour, which in the US is nothing.
Right.
Overseas, in some of these other really great English speaking places, that you could pay even less than that and you get almost better workmanship. Yeah. Plus I do feel like because that's really important to them. Yeah. They actually they love their job. They don't just be like, no, this whatever, this sucks. Like I'm paying $12 or $15 an hour. Like there's a different value system there with where we're at. And I have some team members in the Philippines who speak great English, but they love working here. Like because we treat them really well, and they absolutely love it. So I was telling this before, and I have Tersh knows this, but we had inbox done on our thing, which is kind of like a VA service for your inbox, and they do some emails and some writing and stuff for you. But one of our reps is from South Africa, and she does great. Like I've had them for, I don't know, ever since we had that episode. So a year and a half. Like a year. I literally hired them like a week later. I'm like, yes, I want that. But they do a great job, and the English is fantastic.
It's so true. So the culture is different in other countries. So, speaking of South Africa specifically, they treat an agent role, to them, it's a career. They're really proud of it. A lot of the colleges and universities in South Africa, the courses that you take are customer service, because there are customer service outsourcing companies there. It's a sought out job. It's something they're proud. And then they get really excited about whatever their brand is that they're working with. They become passionate about it. So you're right. It's just a different culture, a different mindset. And something that we're excited about, on a kind of different topic, is in South Africa, we're also able to participate in what's called social impacting. So it's like we're giving back to those guys too, so we're able to pay them a good rate, help them with, they don't always live in the best locations. They're well educated, they're smart, they want to work, but we give back to the community, we help them help their children and all that. So it's a really great location to be in.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I think I do. Well, and it's funny because we obviously all of us have had some experience with Google or like the big companies like AT&T and some of these other ones out there. I won't name too many, but you cannot understand their reps at all. And I think that's what the fear is with service companies, because service is so important. Like if you're a big telecom company, you probably really don't care. Like
Right.
you start, like whatever. Like maybe they do.
They have the
still say they
monopoly.
do.
Yeah.
They really don't seem to care.
That's it.
But-
I think that's one of the questions I asked you beforehand. And that was really a question that I know would be asked by people that are listening to this is I want to make sure that we're maintaining that small town feel,
Exactly.
even though our reps are thousands of miles away.
Yeah. It's super important. So I think it starts with the onboarding of each new program. So how much training does the brand give to us? Because we want them to feel like they're an extension of your brand. We want them to wear your t-shirts, carry your coffee mug, but you guys or, the company needs to immerse us in your brand, your customer service expectations, your standards, of course, all your policies, procedures, all of that. But the more you can make them feel like they truly are part of your team, then they really become part of your team. We encourage that, like I mentioned, guys invite them every now and then to a meeting with the leaders so they can say hi, or, come do a site visit, come down to Colombia or South Africa, meet with them in person. There's lots of things we can do to make sure they feel like they're part of the team, but it starts with the training. They have to get the same training that you would give an internal team member. And the goal is that they stay long-term too, and they're learning as they go along and they're becoming, experts on the brand.
Do you guys have so one thing, and I think Tersh has had to deal with this, I've had to deal with this because we both have remote businesses. So that inter-office communication is different, right? You can't just go around the next cubicle and say, hey, and talk for 5 minutes and see how their day's going. Do you guys have your own system, or do you use systems that maybe the business owner that adds you guys, maybe they have Slack or they have Teams or they have Google Chat? Like, do you guys work with all of those things, or do you guys have a preferred way that you would train your reps to have that inter office communication?
Nope. So we work with a lot of the different ones you just mentioned. So it's really what works best for our client. So, in our company, we use Teams, so we have Teams actively available, but we have companies that want to use Google and Google Chat, fine, Slack, whatever it is. We set up the groups so that, especially at the beginning, when we first go live, we want to make sure there's some instant communication if possible, if the client's willing to do that. So quick question, maybe this wasn't covered in training, we have the ability to ask. And then it almost becomes fun. Some of the agents are on there with your agents maybe, and they're able to get to know each other a bit. So yes, Teams, Slack, Google, whatever the channel is, we make sure we have that set up.
Awesome. No, it's very cool. Honestly, I haven't heard of too many companies where it's like a dedicated rep, but I do think like even I only relate it back to Inbox Done because it's the same. They're like my virtual assistants. If I wanted to hire them full-time, Inbox Done even allows you to do that, where it's like, hey, I want them full-time as part of the team type thing, which I'm sure is a little different for you guys, but it's interesting because it's more of like a one-to-one thing where I get to know them, not a group of people. And there's pros and cons to both, right? Because maybe you have a huge call volume and you need some additional support. But I would think companies because I have a lot of clients that they're 1, 2, 3 mentioned, they don't have an office staff yet. They're still answering the phone themselves. And I'm like, one, that quality is, I don't care how good you think you are, your quality on the call is not good. It's just
because you're trying to juggle it, you're trying to remember it, you're in it,
or they're on the road. You can hear the truck in the background banging on the road, or they're in a basement and it's like every other word they can hear. Because I listen to those calls, I'm like, man, you guys really, really have to get somebody. But this is another opportunity where maybe they don't want to hire an answering service because they haven't had great experience, but they want someone that they can actually grow with instead of just maybe a company that does a couple things for them. Yeah. So it's a very interesting thing, which if you are watching this live, I did put the website down at the bottom. It's callzilla.cx. They got a fancy domain. So definitely give these guys a check, especially if that's something that's interesting you and you're in that spot where you've been through customer service reps. You're tired of training them yourself because it just isn't in your nature. It's not what you know. And you're looking for something a little different.
Yeah. And you mentioned, staffing and the number of agents and things like that. We also know in your industry, your volume can change throughout the year based on the seasons and things like that. So we're also super experienced in ramping up, ramping down, doing what's right for the business.
What does that period look like? Like, let's say Tersh's business, since he's still in the trade, says, hey, I want to join you guys. We're going to sign up. What is the ramp up period to the time that they have a agent that is like actually taking the customer service calls and things like that?
Yep. So for initial onboarding of a brand new program, depending on the complexity of training, so the length of training plays into that. But say you have 2 weeks of training, we could get a program up and running within 4 weeks. That's, hiring, staffing, integrating all of our systems, training, all of that. And then throughout the year, we ask for a 4-week leeway to ramp up. The goal would be that during our weekly meetings, we're talking about we're anticipating some volume in June. Let's start planning this. But things happen. We have, something goes crazy, especially with retail clients, for example, website breaks down. We need extra people. We'll move as quick as we can to help our clients, even if it's same day, we got to ramp up quick. We'll do that. But yeah, a couple week notice for things like that.
Awesome. No, that's great. Stephanie, outside of the website, is there anywhere that people can get a hold of you to have a further discussion on what you guys provide?
Yeah, of course. So my email is sfritz, so SFRITZ at callzilla.cx. And then I'm also on LinkedIn. You can find me on LinkedIn, and you can go to our website. There's a contact us form there you can fill out, and all of those come straight to me also.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you so much
for hanging out with us. It was really great.
Yeah,
it was really great to have you on.
Thank you guys so much.
If anybody has any questions at all, don't hesitate to reach out to Stephanie. You can reach out to me or Josh, but we're just going to send you to Stephanie. So just don't hesitate to reach out to her. And I hope you have a wonderful and safe week until we talk again next time. We'll see you later.
Thank you for listening to this episode of Service Business Mastery. Now that you are equipped with essential business advice from this impactful conversation, you are one step closer to becoming the successful owner of your dreams. If this episode has been helpful to your business journey, don't forget to subscribe to the show, leave a rating, and share it with other owners as well. Visit servicebusinessmastery.com to learn more.